evening, all my friends and subscribers. I am here tonight with, as you can see, a box. We're going to do that box opening. And she came a day early. She came today, which is Friday, January the 4th. And she was due to come tomorrow. So I was really excited I could come home and make this video. And normally, when I do my American Girl videos, I like to do them outside because the lighting is so well. And but you know what? I can't wait till tomorrow. And then I hear tomorrow's going to be raining, so we don't want to do that. That's okay for the summertime and springtime, but not right now. So I'm gonna get busy and open up this girl, and we'll have a little chat, and I'll tell you all about her. This is my 10th. Sorry about that. I had to reach over and get something. This is my 10th American Girl. I started collecting last year about this time. And I really have enjoyed this part of my doll collecting and collecting American Girls. I had never really thought about it. But you know what got me started was and I apologize for shadows, but what got me started was Life with Crystal. She has a YouTube channel, and a lot of you, I'm sure, subscribe. Well, she was doing one on her American Girls, and I don't know, I just fell in love with them, and then I started watching other YouTube channels with American Girls on them, and I really did enjoy them. So I'm going to tell you the story about this. So we're in, and let's see if this is purchase agreement. Oh, and this is their catalog, and I love their catalogs. I get one every so often, and I turned right to my girl, and I'll tell you all about her in just a minute. Okay. My husband, for Christmas, said to me, what do you want? He said, do you want to get an American Girl for Christmas? You can order one for Christmas. Well, I was so excited. And so, you know, there's different, get rid of this box. Put this back up. There's different, you know, categories of the American Girl. There's the Truly Me's that don't have actual names to them. Then there's but there's like about, I don't know, you can choose from about 50 of those, and they're really nice. And my last box opening American Girl that I did was a Truly Me. Then there's the Be Forevers, which are the historical figures, and some of you might even remember these from your childhood, or you know, they have books that go with them, like they have Kitteridge, and she's like the 1930s and all that, and then they have, you know, all the way up to the 1970s, which is Julie's. They represent a different decade. And then they have the Girl of the Year. And I have 3. This will be my 3rd Girl of the Year. And this is Luciana. I think I can only show you her name like this. I'm not sure we can get it like that. Okay, it's Luciana. She was the 2018 Girl of the Year, and when the new Girl of the Year comes out, they retire the old Girl of the Year, and they had said that they were retiring her on December the 31st, and I hadn't gotten her yet, and I just kind of fooled around with it because I was getting other ones, and then my husband said you can get an American Girl for Christmas, and I said absolutely, we're going to get Luciana, and her name is Luciana Vega, and each Girl of the Year has a different, let me see if we can, get this. It doesn't want to focus there, but each one has a different story. And this little gal is so important to me that I had to make sure that I got her, was what her story is. She's actually a little astronaut girl. It's a kind of an empowerment for young girls to know that they can do anything. And this year, she actually won a doll award too for this year. American Girl did, for putting out Luciana, and I'll show you her up here. Oh, but that glare. We're going to open her up. I'm going to open her up now and get her out. So they have these empowerment, ideas for young girls. And one of the girls of the year, Leah, she went to the rainforest to rescue her brother. And then one was a baker, Grace. I have her too. And she opened her own bake shop, and all kinds of things. And they have these great stories that go with them, and these are the books. And this is Luciana, and on the back, I'll read the back so you get a little idea. Luciana Vega wants to be the first kid on Mars, but first she's got to be a good team player here on Earth. Luciana is over the moon. She's going to space camp. But when she's picked to lead her team in a robot challenge, instead of rocketing her crew to success, she steers them straight into trouble. After that, her teammates don't trust her. In fact, Lucy's pretty sure they don't even like her. It's great to be good at science, but Lucy learns that it's not enough. If she's ever going to make it to Mars, she's got to be someone her crew can depend on, no matter what. Well, that's the beginning of her story. She has 3 books, and I love the stories, talking, sharing with the young girls, like with my granddaughter, learning good ethics and proper behavior and so forth, and how to be a team player, how to be a good friend, and how to set goals. Anyway, so Luciana wants to be an astronaut, and she wants to go to Mars. And now she's going to space camp. Well, I have to tell you why this is so important to me, and I'm going to really promise that I'm going to try not to cry. When I grew up, I was born in Dayton, Ohio. My father was in the Air Force. He had served by that time in the Pacific for World War II, and he served 2 tours of duty in Korea. And then, he retired. He was done Korea, but he had his master's mechanical engineer degree, and he stayed in the Air Force. And okay, it's it's a little difficult to get these. Oh, let's see if we can get this girl out without getting her hairnet caught in this. Okay, there we did, and we didn't get her hair caught in it. And then she has some little accessories here. So we'll get her out straight. I had to put this on here, so this foam board, so that I could share her. And so let's try to get her. I'm going to get, there she is, all up there. And I want to get hold on just a moment. Okay, I had to get a doll stand so she could stand upright. And we'll take her hair down. And then I'll finish my story. Okay, let's take, this is the most fun part, is when you take her hairnet off. And you try to do that as gracefully as you can without damaging their hair. Their hair is so, American Girl just does such a quality job, I can't even tell you guys. You know, and I told you yesterday in my video, I'm not crazy about the knockoffs. But, oh yes, she's got a nice wig. Very shiny and bright. But can you see something that's really exciting? She has done her, see if I can bend her over more. She has the purple streak in her hair, and I love it. You know, oh, she's a beautiful girl. She is really beautiful. She's tan with these brown eyes, and definitely a Hispanic girl. Oh, she said, got this most gorgeous hair. Well, anyway, let me tell you the story. Okay, so my dad stayed in the Air Force, and then they were transferred to Dayton, Ohio, and he went there for a couple of years, and that's where I was born. And I never understood the significance of Dayton because, you know, we weren't there very long. I certainly don't remember one thing about it. When I was a year old, we moved to Huntsville, Alabama. Well, the significance about Dayton was that was the birth of the space program. That's where John Glenn lived and where he was, and where they ended up launching the, they built the thing there, the satellite that he took around the world. And you know, most of you youngsters, you're not going to know anything about that or just know from history, but I was 6 years old, or 6 or 7, when he did that. And I remember we stayed home from school. School was out, and we got to witness all of that on TV, and it was really an exciting moment. I mean, you can imagine, you know, because that was the birth of the space mission, and the object, of course, was to go to the moon. Well, how does my dad figure in? Well, being an engineer, he was part of that program with John Glenn, and then they transferred him down to Huntsville, Alabama, which was the second leg of the space journey. And that's in Huntsville. They had they did more of the manufacturing and designing and creating the Gemini satellites, the other missions that they were doing. They were creating there. And Luciana mentioned Space Camp. Well, in Huntsville, they have the Space Camp there. That's where they have the Space Camp for kids and teenagers to go to. My nephew's been there. None of my kids have been there, but that's it. The Space Camp was created from the Huntsville base for the creating of the space program. And we lived there until I was 6. And then my dad was transferred to Southern California. So we moved all the way across the country, and he went to work for NASA. NASA was born then. And it was a brand new government-run institution or company or project for the whole goal was to get the man to the moon. And he worked, there was 2 places. There was North American, and that wasn't NASA, but they were subcontracted to NASA. And then there was Downey. That was NASA, and that's where my dad went to work every day, was in Downey. And that's where they assembled many of the parts for the rocket or the spaceship that was going to go to the moon in July of 1969. And my father, his main job, what he did, was designed the landing modules. And at first he was helping in designing the Geminis, which were the satellites that went up, and some of them that went with the previous astronauts before they went to the moon. But then, as time progressed, my dad was in charge of the landing module for the ship that took them into the moon. And so he had to move to Houston, Texas. They built it in Downey, and they assembled it all in Houston. So where all the different things were for different NASA places around the United States, it all ended up going to Houston, or to Galveston, really, is where it was. And that's where he went. He moved to Galveston, and my mom and I did not go with them, and they were having some marital problems and so on and so forth. But I would go visit him there in Galveston. And then in July 1969, they launched the moon launch, as you know. And my dad, this is the funny part. This is just how my dad was. He was so meticulous. And to be an engineer, a mechanical engineer, you know, everything has to be perfect. And when they were putting that landing module, which was one of the last things that they were assembling onto the rocket that was taking them up there, things weren't going the way my dad thought they should go. And so he said, no, it's not ready. And so they had to delay the moon launch by a few weeks. And he just kept at it and at it and at it with his group. And they kept saying, you know, is it ready yet? His name was Harvey Fritz. But they kept calling him Fritz. And he'd say, no, I'll tell you when it's ready. And they were working day in, day out. He missed my graduation from junior high school, which I can certainly understand, and which was in June of '69, just a month before the NASA launch, just the moon launch. And they kept bugging him, and he kept saying, you know, I am not going to jeopardize these astronauts. I am not going to be the man where something happened to these astronauts because of the landing module. They has to be perfect. Well, they ended up having a senator call him and tell him, we need to do this. We've scheduled it now. You know, a couple of times you've delayed the moon launch. You need to do it. And so they had to delay it, and when my dad said it was okay, that's when they did it and they got it ready, and that was in July, later in July of 1969. And I remember watching that moon launch, and it was so exciting. I remember Walter Cronkite, you know, saying, you know, crying a little bit, when they landed on the moon and the astronauts, you know, radio back. And then I ended up being able to fly out there after the moon launch took place, and the astronauts came back and they were put in quarantine at NASA, and a few people were able to go through that part of NASA and see them behind a glass and see the moon rocks that they brought back. And so I remember going through there with my dad and waving to Sam Shepard and Neil Armstrong, and they were right there at the window and kind of pointing at my dad and laughing and all that kind of thing. And they held up the moon rocks for me, and that was really, really exciting. So it ended up that, you know, that just about, my dad ended up going to the hospital after that. He had been under so much stress that he got this terrible bronchial infection. And it was right after I left to go home that he ended up in the hospital. And it was terrible. But he overcame that, and he kept working for a couple of more years until he retired. But one of the best parts of this whole story is the astronauts, there had been a few missions, you know, just going out into space and coming back, and they created this award called the Silver Snoopy Award. And if you remember Snoopy from Peanuts, he had a little one of his little characters, or one of the things that he liked to dress up in, Snoopy, was the astronaut. He was a little astronaut. So they created this Silver Snoopy Award, and it was totally done by the astronauts, and they presented and had a banquet and everything for the man or the NASA employee that they felt ensured their safety the most. And they wanted to award that person for what they did for them. And my dad was, I think, the second recipient of the Silver Snoopy Award for the moon launch mission. And I have it now. My dad, of course, is gone now, but I have his award and the whole 9 yards. I should have gotten that out to show y'all, but he got the Silver Snoopy Award, and that was like his greatest thing. You know, that was he got a lot of awards through his life, and from the Air Force and from NASA. He retired from the Air Force as a colonel, so, you know, he had a few of those things, and then he got a few awards from NASA, and then he got the ultimate, which not very many men have an opportunity to have, or women, or whoever it was. It was the Silver Snoopy. So that was my dad, so that's why this little chick means so much to me, because she is the little astronaut, and I'm going to show you her little silver boots that she has. I think I'm going to have to cut these off of her, the foam. She has these darling silver boots, and every time they do a Girl of the Year, they do a collection for her to go along with her personality and her story. And this is her rainbow space kind of little dress. It's a pretty dress, and her little fanny pack. And here's her shoes, little silver shoes, and they're such good quality. I don't even know how to tell you. Everything, you know, nothing is cheap with the American Girl for their doll things. Well, I'm going to show you, as I mentioned, she also has this outfit that goes, I'll have to show it to you like that, with the white boots and the astronaut outfit and whatever that is, her oxygen and everything, and her helmet that comes down over her face, and it says "Dream It, Do It, Luciana Vegas." So you can get that outfit, which I didn't get, but they still have those in stock. And I'm wondering if they're gonna, I don't think I can see here, but she has a telescope. She even has a space station, which is just amazing. It's a few $100s, but it's a space station that she has, and she has a flight suit. And I'll have to get those pictures later because I don't see those, but she does have her astronaut outfit, and she has a lot of little things that they designed for her. And I just don't see. I'm looking through here. No, they're just showing the astronaut outfit. But what I did, my husband bought me a couple of more outfits to go with all this. And this one is so precious to me because from telling you all that story about my dad, she has this little outfit that goes, she has these cute shorts, and that goes with her rainbow little tank top, and over that is her gorgeous NASA jacket, and it just zips down, it's fully lined, and it has NASA here, and I grew up with that NASA symbol. And then of course it has Mars on this sleeve and the little stars, and I thought, oh my goodness, yes, I have to get her in that. And these little rainbow kind of spacey little trainers or tennis shoes go with it, and she'll look so cute. And then the other thing I got for her was this, and that is a NASA t-shirt. Now this is what I remember growing up. We had little NASA t-shirts, my brother and I, and so cute. And of course the Velcro's on the back, and a little bag, space bag. Whoops, oh, I don't know what I just dropped, hold on. And when I was a kid, for my science fairs, my dad would bring, he would come to my classroom and he would do a film on the latest thing that they were working on for the Gemini program, or the space launch or whatever, and he'd pass out these booklets, and it was just so fun. It was so neat. Anyway, here's a actual little book that came with that set, and it has little stories about the astronauts and space telescopes and all of that. And then in the kit she has the Space Museum little bag, little tote bag, and oh, I love this. This is her little souvenir that she got at space camp, and it's a little astronaut. Take that out. And it's kind of a rubber. It's really nice, little astronaut. And then she got her NASA passport for the space camp and for the NASA exhibits. Has her passport. And she has a bookmark that has the rocket on there, and then just another little bookmark. And that's what I got for my girl, and I'll be getting more stuff. But I think I am going to get her astronaut outfit. I'm not going to get her space station for Mars, but I do think I'm going to get her flight suit and her astronaut outfit at some time or another. But for right now, we've got her, and then she came with this as one of her accessories. Looks like a little star necklace that we can put on her. Her beautiful hair. So this is my Luciana Vega, who is the Girl of the Year for 2018, and they've already come out with a new one, Blair, who's adorable, which I will probably be getting sometime this year. But I don't get all the Girl of the Years. Of course, but I did want to. I didn't get Gabriella, who was 2017. But I did want to for sure get Luciana because of what she represented to me. Anyway, I know it was a long video with this story, so thank you so much for hanging in there with me and hearing this story. And I'm going to be doing more videos with my American girls because I want to thank the people that commented on my last video, how there had a few that said they were really excited about seeing the new American Girls and wanted to see more of them. So I will be showing those on my channel. And next week, I'm going to be doing a video show. I did the one on Laura Lee Eagles. And what is in your collection? Well, I have another collection in mind. It's going to be one doll and a popular kit. And so we're going to talk about that. And so you can get ready and listen for that. And I am going to be doing also a giveaway sometime in the middle of the month. And I have the things that I want to do. So I'm really excited about that. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for hanging in there with this 20-minute video. So I will be back in a couple of days with another video, and I am going to be doing a slideshow on all my American Girls. Thank you. Bye.